Yeah, buddy. It's R.I.M.E live in HD. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, the whole nine or whatever. Highly appreciate it. Let's get them numbers up. Today, we're going to talk about value. Value. Very interesting subject, very important subject. And a subject that we all need to really assess, really focus in on. What, number one, do we value? And what are our values? That's pretty much the gist of what's going to determine whether you're successful or not. Do you have any values? And when I say values, I mean, not valuables. I mean core values. So first off, what is value? Value is pretty much something of worth, something of interest to people or a person. Things that mean something. Something that holds weight, merit. I might have a book with my senior pictures in it. But to anybody else, that really might not mean anything. But to me, it holds a certain value. It reminds me of when I was a senior, how fly I was. It might be something that your parents left to you, or your mom or your dad or something like that. They left something to you, and it represented a time that y'all shared that was special. Now, if anybody else looks at it, it doesn't really mean anything to them. They're like, what is this? This is a little keychain. What is this about? Well, this is the keychain, when we went on the trip. That's sentimental value. One of the most common things that a lot of people share value in or interest is money. That's also a shared value that's created by the minds of people. People put weight on it. People put merit on it, respect on it. So therefore, it's upholded in most places that you go. And it can be exchanged for things. Even though in and of itself, it's not really worth anything. That's the most common version. Then we have things like your old television. To you, it's an old television. To somebody without a TV, it's potentially my new television. So value has a way of being interchangeable based on the scenario. You might not always have money, but you can trade other things for favors, things of that nature. I need a ride. That's where the Uber situation comes in. Then there's a core value. What are your values on the inside? What do you stand for? What makes you unique? How do you respond different under pressure? How do you solve problems? How quickly do you solve problems? That's what you need to study about yourself and find out what makes you valuable to such and such, to this person, to the world, to your children, to your mate. And when you discover what those values are, enhance them. Do them to the best of your ability. Find new ways of expressing your value to others. Be more impactful with what you already have, what you already got going for you. Be a scientist when it comes to how purposeful you are to not only yourself but others. Value. It's crazy because a lot of people that we can easily recognize their value, they're in high demand. Because once people find out that you hold some type of value that they can benefit from, they'll be on your bumper. You ain't got to worry about that. Once you express some sort of value to someone else, they tell others, the snowball begins. The snowball begins. When you start solving problems for people, it might start, residential, and it might grow to regional, and it grows to national and then global. Just like that. Just like that. I remember when I was selling my Too Real for TV t-shirts to promote my album a few years ago. I just started selling. I was like, all right, I got all these friends on Facebook. All right, let me see, what's going on. Bam, 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 bam. Start selling. Next thing you know, I'm not even realizing I got people in the Bahamas trying to get, the shirts and stuff like that. Then I started running into a problem because of the whole shipping situation. They were taxing us like crazy on shipping. I had a couple of people. I'm like, these people, are supporters and stuff like that of mine, and I didn't even know where they were from until I started talking to them. So I started running into issues with that. But that just goes to show you definitely need to be ready, because when you start providing the answer to people's questions and providing the answers to people's the solution to people's problems, it'll start growing, and sometimes it can grow out of your control. So that's why adjustments need to be made for longevity. You gotta keep the fire lit. Just because you're going into new territory, it doesn't mean you get overwhelmed. Keep your purpose in mind. Keep your purpose in mind of why you started doing it. Don't lose that. That's your core. We often get tired when it comes to doing right. A lot of times doing wrong, you don't get that tired all the time. It take you a while to get tired doing wrong, doing dirt, because it's enticing. But when you're doing a good thing, when you're providing services, when you're upholding a standard, it can get heavy sometimes. But you can't faint. You can't faint. So that means you forfeit the whole mission. And you also won't be able to see it to the end. And the end is so lovely. And when I say end, I mean end result. So to start thinking about discovering how, like, what is your true value and worth? Focus on that. And after you discover that, start focusing on how you're going to convey that, how you're going to express that. Even more so. Well, this is R.I.M.E Live in HD. I appreciate all you guys. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification. Do your thing. I'll check you guys out on the next one.